Welcome to the Geek Homeworld. I am your host, Ed, aka SavageTechman. We talk sci-fi, TV, movies, superheroes, and all from a geek perspective. You can find us on Blogger, Google+, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're everywhere. Join the Geek Homeworld. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Homeworld podcast. I am your host, SavageTechman, aka Ed. And if you're wondering what's all that noise, that was right on cue. I love that. That was a car going by. I figured since it's raining outside, it's very gloomy, steady rain. It's actually storming a little bit ago. And I figured I'd just come out to the patio here, never done this, and do a recording out here for the podcast. So you'll hear the sound of rain in the gutter there, rain beating off the lawn furniture on the outside patio, some cars driving by in the parking lot area, and water sloshing around. And so I thought it would add just a little bit of ambiance, a little bit of flair to our episode here. So just something a little different. You may not be able to see or hear, but this is my cup of joe that's now getting cold. I've done several takes on this episode. I am trying to, and if I salvage it, there may be a video version of this podcast on YouTube or some portion of it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can clip something together. I'm trying to use my phone, which is obviously not the best way. Though movies have been made on iPhones, but my phone, I have like 200 and something apps on it, which is like way too much. And I run it super high speed, whatever. You know, I'm running it, wide open all the time. So I think my phone is just not handling, and it's got a small SD card in it, external card that I think it's recording to. I'm not sure. But I love my phone. It's got great battery life, and so that's that. But I'm drinking out of my Superman cup here, and it says it's got Superman on one side. It's red and white looking. Got Superman like he's in flight there, like the golden age of Superman. And it says coffee is my kryptonite. Someone, I forgot who got this for me a while back, and so I figured, nice day like this, I might as well have a cup of joe, right? So there you go. That's for sound effects. That's why I'm purposely making noise. So anyway, you may hear cars, planes, trains, automobiles. I don't know. Probably no trains so much. But anyway, this episode is focusing on, I almost said George of the Jungle. Basically, that's what it is. No, it's the movie Rampage, and this is a spoiler-filled episode, so if you have not seen the movie Rampage and you don't want it spoiled, then go watch the movie, then come back, and then you can watch, or you can listen, or watch and listen, depending whether I get a video up on YouTube, and I may try to cut something together. We'll see, whatever footage I have on my phone. But anyhow, so this is just something a little different. But anyway, so we're going to talk real quickly about not George of the Jungle. And this is why I'm saying George of the Jungle. Basically, you have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, in this movie. Does a great job with green screen and acting to nothing. You have a strong female lead that doesn't get pushed around, or be the damsel in distress, as it were, which is great. Then you end up having Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who does a wonderful Negan impression from The Walking Dead. I mean, 90% of his performance is Negan, and that could be clouded by the fact that, we know him so much as Negan, and part of this movie was filmed in Georgia, so that was probably Negan, on a break from Walking Dead. I'm not sure exactly how the production went down. And I'm not knocking anybody on the production. I have great respect for people that work behind the camera and put movies together from start to finish, and even those who promote them. But my job here on the podcast is to talk about movies, to give my personal opinion and of what I think of them. Should you go see Rampage? I don't know that I'd go see it in the big screen. It could benefit from some of that great sound. Of course, I'm a professional sound mixer, so, I would always go for whatever gives you the most. I'd go IMAX and all that. But do you need to go for the average Joe? Pardon my coffee pun there, but this podcast not sponsored by Joe or anybody named Joe or a cup of Joe or Superman or DC Comics or Rampage, the movie, or anything. But this is a fun popcorn movie. It's, The Rock can afford to do movies like this. This movie, much better than Baywatch. It kind of bombed a little bit. It was done here locally. There's people that were involved with it. Not knocking them, not knocking anybody. Movies are what they are, and, not everything is going to be liked by everyone. That's just a fact of life. But Rampage, I did enjoy. I think you should go see it if you want a fun popcorn kind of movie. And you know what I mean by popcorn. Basically, it's just a fun kind of movie. You grab some popcorn, you grab a soda, maybe your favorite candy, and you just sit there, and for about 2 hours or so, or more or less, you lose yourself in the wonderment of this entertainment of the movie genre. So Rampage is fun. It's silly kind of fun, but it's not a bad movie. I actually thought it was pretty good. I like San Andreas that The Rock did last year, I think, or so. And I enjoyed Rampage. So here's some things where I was going to connect, and I'm sorry if I'm getting a little off track here, but so you heard me calling Rampage George of the Jungle. Well, George is, and I said spoilers already, so spoilers. George of the Jungle, that Brendan Fraser, I think, was in that, if I remember correctly. But curious, you could connect that. But the ape or gorilla, I forget. I think it's ape, and I'm sorry if I don't know my difference between apes or gorillas. I really don't, or can't think of it right now. So, some birds in the background there. I like that. Cool. They're like, we're tired of being rained on. And the rain's almost come down to a drizzle now. It was storming earlier when I was trying to record. But anyway, so you have George, who's the ape. He's basically mutated. And really, phone, now you're going to make noise? No. You're going in silent airplane mode. You were in airplane mode. How are you making noise? Oh, I didn't silence you. I did silence you. Okay, well, I'm going to silence you again. Thank you for trying, phone. Sorry. But, so we have Curious George, I'm thinking of, is in, not really George of the Jungle, but here's how you can connect the universes. You have the main character, George, who's really a gentle soul, but this substance that falls to Earth or whatever from the space station, where this company with evil people, well, they're not evil, but the tensions aren't the most astute. They aren't the highest of intentions, and this serum or whatever, mist or whatever, George inhales along with this crocodile, where one of them crashes in the Everglades and one crashes in Wyoming or somewhere, I forget. And there's a wolf, a flying wolf. Yep, a wolf can fly. And they're mutated to probably, I don't know, 50, 100 feet tall. I'm not sure. I didn't ask anybody. But anyway, George is affected by this too. He starts growing exponentially, and he has this rage. And there's some awesome scenes in the movie, some great special effects in this movie. So if you just like special effects, this movie is definitely in your wheelhouse there. It's definitely something you might be interested in. But how do we connect the universes? Okay, let's finally answer that question. I'm kind of teasing you here along, and my mind's wandering because I'm loving nature. Even a rainy day is awesome. But you have Curious George, and I guess in a way The Rock could be whoever Curious George's friend was, the book Curious George. So that would connect it, because George is the name of the main ape or whatever character in the movie here. And then you have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who basically plays Negan, and I'm not criticizing him for that. He's not going to win an Academy Award for that at all, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan does a great job of playing Negan, and it's like I almost felt he wasn't trying in a way, and I'm not trying to diss Jeffrey Dean Morgan at all. He's a great actor. I love his portrayal of Negan, but maybe it's because we've seen him so much as Negan that's in the forefront of everybody's mind, or at least my mind. And so Jeffrey Dean Morgan basically is Negan in this movie, maybe 10% of the character, and he's a bad secret government operative guy, and who eventually, of course, befriends The Rock and helps him out, and this wonderful female scientist. I do not remember the actress's name. She does a great job, very strong performance. I love to see a strong female character, and she isn't the damsel in distress, as I've said. So that's good, she helps The Rock out. They're a team, and it's pretty awesome. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing the character that he does in Rampage reminds me so much of Negan. I'm saying that's connecting the Walking Dead universe to this. So anyhow, that's just me saying that. There's nothing official connecting Curious George universe or the universe of the Walking Dead to the Rampage universe, okay? And I'm assuming there's universes, okay? So, anyhow, it's a fun movie. Rampage is a fun movie. I wouldn't go big bucks to go see it, but I saw it for quote-unquote free. How did I see that? Okay, well, here's how I saw it. And this is in no way sponsored by MoviePass, okay? But this is just my personal experience with it. So I signed myself up for MoviePass. And basically, I know they've changed their plans a little bit. I think they were offering a $6.99 plan. There was a special promotion. And I got into the $9.99 per month plan. And I have seen ads online about this, Facebook and places like that, social media. And so I was like, I'll finally give it a try, and had some friends that use it, and they said, it's great. Yeah, we go see 2 to 3 movies a week, and we love it, or a month or whatever. Well, I know some of the theaters were giving a little pushback. I've read at least some articles online, and, you can trust everything online, right? But AMC was having a little bit of issue with it and the profitability scale of this and such. And, I get that. But here's the deal. I went to go see this movie for free, but I spent $14 on a drink and some popcorn, okay? So the theater still made money off of me. Now, if you're really smart, you'll eat, and then you'll go to the theater. That's how you save money. And, the plan I got into is a $9.99 per month. And according to what it says, I can go see one movie per day all month. So essentially I could go 30 days and see 30 movies. Not that there are 30 movies playing. Or I could see one movie again and again and again, which would be great since Avengers is less than a week away. And actually it's this week as the recording of this, and we're literally a few days away from it. So definitely want to check out some of our episodes. We did our first video episode on YouTube, Geek Homeworld, about 10 years of the Marvel Universe. So there's a plug there. But you can always reach us, and that's YouTube. Just look for Geek Homeworld. Go there and please hit that subscribe button. I need some subscribers to our YouTube channel, Geek Homeworld. I really appreciate it. And trying to build something up there, trying to build up the live chats, trying to work out my camera. Obviously, my phone's not going to be an option. And my computer is top notch that I have, and the camera is too, but the sound on there isn't perfect, so I want to apologize. This is a little in parentheses, kind of mea culpa, but I know being a professional sound mixer how to get good sound, and I'm getting good sound right now, but on at least this audio portion of the audio part of the podcast here. But there were some ways, and I've been messing around with mixers and trying some old school and new school stuff, so I ended up using the audio, and this is a big no-no, but I use the audio from the computer, so naturally doesn't give you the best audio. But it's still audible. It's just a little, airy. It's not perfection. It was my first true attempt at doing a video podcast, and since I've been podcasting for 10 years, in 2018, I been very hesitant about video podcasting. So now I'm trying to I have ventured officially into that foray. So please go over to Geek Homeworld. And if you leave comments there, please be nice. You can be constructive, but be nice. I'll try not to be offended. And I'm not trying to talk to you on the episode, but it was my first attempt. So please realize that. And I thank y'all for listening and now watching. But you can also find our episodes on geekhomeworld.libsyn.com. That's our main website page. You definitely want to check that out. I've got some exciting things coming, even more, more as I grow, learn, and expand. And I'm about to help someone very close to me start up. We're in negotiations and talking through starting up her podcast, and she's super excited about it, and I'm super excited once I can tell you about it. So you're going to want to keep listening to this podcast until I tell you this. It's going to be a very awesome podcast, and we may eventually get that on YouTube also. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But it's a side note for this. I know you're here for, well, whatever we got to talk about, but I'm about to get back to the Movie Pass thing, okay? But first I want to say, check out geekhomeworld.libsyn.com for all our episodes. We're on iTunes podcast there. Geek Homeworld. You can see our whole catalog. Please listen to our older episodes. If you follow me at SavageTechman on Twitter, you'll see me repost a lot of stuff from Geek Homeworld, which is our main Twitter feed. You can also contact us there directly. And that's where I get most of my great feedback is on Twitter. I've gotten some on YouTube, and I appreciate every bit of feedback I get and interaction with the community. So I really appreciate that. Anyhow, I guess that's a mini commercial for the podcast. A little promo there. I should have thrown something in, bumpers, but I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like doing that today. And as the rain is tapering off, I don't even think it's drizzling now. I think it's just residual rain. So I wish it would just storm just like it did earlier. But anyhow, let's talk about Movie Pass again. Let's finish this up and talk about Movie Pass. So I got the Movie Pass subscription plan, and according to what I've read online, and their stuff is always subject to change. You kind of when you sign up for it. Basically, you go to a website, you sign up for it, name, address, all that good stuff, and then they send you within 2 weeks. And some people have said to me, "Oh, it takes forever to get our card," and I got mine in under 2 weeks. It might have been a week, so very quick. Good job, Movie Pass. So far, I'm very impressed with Movie Pass. Okay, for the record. And like I said, Movie Pass is not sponsoring this. This is just my personal experience with Movie Pass so far. And so far, I highly recommend it. So I'm paying $9.99 a month at this point, and I can see a movie a day. And it excludes 3D movies, which is fine. I get it. They cost more. I understand that. I think it excludes IMAX to the extent of 3D. I think you may be able to go to IMAX 2D. I have to double check on that. I did find out when I went to AMC yesterday to see Rampage that I could see, because their later shows cost more, I could have actually seen in what they call the Big D. It used to be Carmike, so they had the Big D, which is next to IMAX, to me, the best thing. IMAX, obviously the best. Now, AMC, this is, I guess, their version of IMAX. It's much better sound. And being a professional sound mixer, as I am, and appreciating sound, and, I really got good sound. And we ended up at AMC. Scott, who's a contributor to the podcast, we went and saw Rampage and joked about the Best Actor nominations for The Rock and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah, right. But anyhow, Movie Pass. So they have changed, and I think I'm grandfathered in. I hope I am. And but I think they've changed their pricing model a little bit, so it may only be 2 to 3 movies per month. But let's think about that. You pay $9.99 per month, right? And it's also bundled with this new subscription plan. Is bundled with iHeartRadio's app, so I guess you get exclusivity to whatever that app's having, So anyhow, that's pretty cool, I guess, if that's the way you're going to go, for your streaming radio service. And I love iHeartRadio. I think they do a great job. I think they do a wonderful job. And anyway, I got some cars pulling in here, so you're going to hear a little bit of noise. Listen to the sounds. Yep, so there's somebody. jamming away as they pull up, and someone else just pulled up getting out of their car, so just getting a little background sound there. So MoviePass, I highly recommend it, even if you end up in the new plan now, because my friend hadn't signed up for it and he was really contemplating. I was singing the praises of it, and he figured it out, and he's, we both figured it out and said, even if you can only see 2 to 3 movies per month versus 1 per day, yeah, of course it's better to see 1 per day. I can go any day and I can see a free movie, and whether I choose to use concessions or not is different. But even if you get the plan, you're in the plan where you see 2 to 3 per month, just seeing 1 movie pays for itself, because even matinees these days are close to $9, and depending where you live, they may be more than that. Now, of course, the 3D, I know that costs more. I understand that. IMAX 3D, of course, I would expect to pay more. But you sign up for this MoviePass service online. They send you the card within 2 weeks, and they're very good about that. At least that's been my experience so far. Then you use the app. I think you can still use it before you get the card and all that, and it tells you in the app how to do that. But you basically scan your card in, and then you have to there's a few caveats to this, a few requirements, I guess, as it were. Now, you have to, when you reserve you of course don't reserve seats, you just reserve the ticket, essentially. So you get the ticket, but you have to do it within 30 minutes of the show, and you have to be within 100 feet of the theater when you reserve the tickets, okay? So, that makes sense, because they're making sure that you don't pre-buy, like somebody with MoviePass buying out the whole cinema. Of course, you could do that with Fandango and stuff like that. If that were an option or something you were looking into, that would definitely be something you could do. But with MoviePass, basically what you're going to do is you're going to get that card, link it to your app, and within 30 minutes of the show, you're going to be within 100 feet of the cinema. So basically, you're going to be at the cinema. Then you reserve it. You've got 30 minutes basically to have it scanned or show them your zip code or whatever the code is. But you have like 30 minutes to be checked in at a kiosk there, or their ticket check-in, and it worked flawlessly. Now, you cannot use like your AMC stubs. Used to be Carmack Rewards, but AMC stubs or whatever in conjunction with this. You could use it on refreshments, I believe, and all that. And like if you go to Regal, you can't use your Regal card for the ticket, and that makes sense because you're getting the ticket for free. Well, not really free because you're paying for it, but still, when you figure it out, you're getting a free movie, okay? And once you pay your monthly subscription, so you go there at Regal, you could probably use it at a concession stand, use your Regal card, and you can get your Regal points there. Of course, you're not racking up the regular amount of points as quickly if you're using MoviePass, but that's fine. And I know Fandango is talking about, I did read an article online where they're trying to ramp up with all the summer blockbusters, something with the subscription service there, so like more rewards. Fandango, I've used them before. I've had one horrible experience with Independence Day Resurgence, and my wife and I had to deal with that. She was mainly dealing with it, and it was they were very not kind, Fandango, and in the theater, but it did get rectified. Actually, not so much on Fandango. It was about canceling the ticket, because we weren't trying to cancel it, but it's a long story and it's in the past. But basically, Fandango was kind of like, whatever, policies are policy, but here's the deal. We went to go see it in theater. It was merely more the theater. They said, we pre-bought tickets for Independence Day Resurgence. It was a special deal through Fandango, and don't worry, this hasn't stopped me from using Fandango. I'm going to still use Fandango. For my birthday, I got a bunch of AMC cards and Fandango cards, and so I'm going to be using those probably for seeing Avengers Infinity War several times. And anyhow, so yeah, Fandango was just not so very nice. They could have done a better job. Of course, we reached out on social media and reached out to them and did not like the response, but I'm not haters of Fandango. I still recommend Fandango. They're fine with me, but that one situation they didn't handle as well as they could. The theater, eventually the district manager sent us some free tickets and all that fun stuff, so They rectified the situation to our liking, I suppose. But anyway, so Movie Pass, should you get it? Well, I'm no professional, but I'm just telling you my experience and my review of Movie Pass. So far, so great. And I've only used it once for the movie Rampage that I saw yesterday. But I did enjoy it. I like the fact that I basically, had I not got concessions, I did go to a free movie, essentially. I know you're paying $9.99 a month, but yeah, I saw a free movie. And guess what? If I wanted to go right now, I could go to a movie and it would be free. And if I didn't get concessions, like popcorn, whatever, a soda, whatever, then I wouldn't pay anything. So that's kind of cool. So hopefully in between me working professional gigs, as I've been doing in a lot of movies and some television, different things projects I've been working on and working on the other podcast, I'll still be able to go and see some of these movies that, I would have said, okay, budget's a little tight this month, so not going to go out and I hate to say waste my money because being in the industry and being behind the camera or in the sound department, I realize how much hard work is put in Grip and Electric. I can't say enough great things about the Grip and Electric department. Those people are masters of their domain. They can take a paperclip and chewing gum and make you an airplane or something. I mean, they're very much MacGyver, all the men and women that do such great jobs and all that. Getting a sip of my cup of joe there. Now cold coffee, not by design, but by reality. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. So what should you get from this? Should you see Rampage? In my point of view, if you want a fun movie, if you're using Movie Pass or you're using another service, yeah, go see it. If you're not, then maybe you wait for video. I have a friend that asked me, should I wait? A few friends will ask me, okay, because they know I review movies and all that on my podcast here and all that, and they say, well, should I wait for video or should I go see it now on different movies? This is one I would say it's not going to hurt you to wait till it comes to, I don't know, Redbox, TV, whatever, Netflix, whatever. That's fine. If you don't see it in theaters, you're not going to miss out. If you want a simple, fun movie, then by all means, go spend your money and go see it. And if you want to go see it in IMAX, by all means, go see it in IMAX. But I don't think you need to. I thought the sound was really well done in Rampage. I enjoyed it. The effects were good. Some of them were hokey, and some of them and hokey in the sense that, the scale is always something. And I've had problems with this with Transformers and all that and other movies, but the scale is just not feasible in that sense. It's just, it just looks odd, and you can almost see where stuff's screened in, but it's fine. When they tear up Chicago, it's actually kind of fun. Sorry, Chicago. But when they did show parts of Chicago, all I could think about is The Dark Knight and, those great scenes there. And so I enjoyed Rampage, and I enjoyed it more because it was free. Had I paid $10 a ticket, because I think it would have been about $9 and some change with tax included just for the ticket. So I basically saved $9 and some change for the ticket. So I felt good about that. So basically, I've already paid. My membership is already paid for me to see, even if it's one movie a month. That's fine. Well, I would still want more. I don't think I would pay $9 to go see one movie. So it has to have more value than that. And so far so good. So Movie Pass, if you're listening, I think you got a great service. I'm just getting on board, so I'm just learning the ins and outs of it, and I hope that you keep that subscription open. And if I'm one of those that's grandfathered in, then that's cool. If you want to sponsor me on the podcast, be a sponsor of my podcast, reach out to me on Twitter at Geek Homeworld, and I don't have a problem with that. Just make sure you're official and make sure it's all good and fine and dandy. But this is totally unsolicited by them. This is my personal point of view of Movie Pass, and I think my listeners, my international audience I have here, would appreciate that. So that's that. So as the rain ends for now, the birds in the background, traffic in the distance. No airplane traffic right now. we're going to say goodbye. So thank you very much for listening. And hopefully if the YouTube video works out, there may not be one. So it may only just be the audio version of the podcast. This will still appear on YouTube, the audio version. Every time I upload, I'll automatically send it to YouTube also. So please check us out at Geek Homeworld. Send us your comments. Let me know what movies now. I've got a movie pass subscription. Let me know what movies. I don't like horror movies. I'm kind of scared. I'm a little fraidy cat when it comes to some of those. I can highly recommend a few movies. Actually, a lot of them. I'm going to be recommending Infinity War, even if I think it sucks. I'll probably still see it several thousand times. But just off the top of my head, Ready Player One is worth seeing. It's worth seeing in IMAX. Yes. Just the sound and vision of it's great. I love the soundtrack. It's a lot of 80s music in there. It's a ton of nostalgia, but if you're this generation, you may not care as much. But I think it was a really good adaptation. Have I read the books? No. The book it's based on. But I think it's pretty cool. I can only imagine a very spiritual movie based upon the song by Mercy Me. I know it's not a geeky movie, but very inspiring movie if you're looking for an inspiring movie. So, we're coming up less than a few days from the recording of this, of Avengers Infinity War. So we're going to be podcasting more about that. Please check the podcast. I've got the previous episode was our first video episode on YouTube about 10 years of the Marvel Universe. And it's also happens to coincide with 10 years of me being a podcaster. So I'm excited about that. And somebody's revving their engine up as they pull away out the parking lot here, as it were. Thank you for joining us outside, and I would cue the rain, but the rain's kind of gone for now, I guess. I thought it was going to last longer. So anyway, I'm rambling on, but thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Geek Homeworld podcast. I'm your host, SavageTechman, a.k.a. Ed. You can follow me at SavageTechman on Twitter. Follow the official Geek Homeworld Twitter handle at Geek Homeworld. There, the Twitter account. That's where you can probably reach us the best, to be the best way to reach us. You can leave comments on our YouTube page. Please go over there. Forgive the sound. I'm still working out the bugs. I know I'm a sound guy, a professional sound mixer. I know. Shame. But I was trying some old school mixer, analog, digital versus, such and such, and trying to get the sound just right. And that's the one thing. I don't have a good camera. I'm not a cinematographer. That's not in my wheelhouse yet. I mean, I've done some videos, but, they're not the quality I want them to be. I use the webcam, and I did the big no-no and used the microphone on the computer, so it does sound a little airy in the room and all that in that Avengers episode. So please be kind on your comments, but I want constructive criticism, but be kind about your criticism. Please don't be mean. I'm finishing up my coffee here, which is ice cold. You gotta do that. Yeah, I'm not editing that out. Anyway, thank you for joining us here on the episode of Geek Homeworld, and thank you, nature. Thank you, Mother Nature. Thank you for all the wonderful background sounds. And have fun at the movies, and go see Rampage. Have some fun. And if you want, go check out Movie Pass. It's a good way to see a lot of movies. And when Avengers coming up, well, you definitely want to jump on that then, right? Just my opinion. You decide. Thanks for listening and watching, hopefully. Bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Geek Homeworld with your host, SavageTechman. You can find us on Libsyn, Google+. Follow and interact with us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on iTunes and leave a review. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Read our thoughts on Blogger. See you again on the Geek Homeworld.